Bonjour, track and field fans. Thank you so much for tuning in to the morning show powered by CITIUS, powered by Asics. We are so excited to be here on this fine Tuesday. It's day 6. We had an incredible day at the track yesterday. So many fun races that we got to see. Also this morning, there were some incredible performances. I'm Karen Lesowitz. I'm here with Eric Jenkins. We got Mitch Dyer. We are so excited to give you some coverage today. First and foremost, though, I mean, you guys, I don't want to be awkward here, but you were interrupting a conversation we were having regarding bathroom etiquette. And ladies versus men, we've got some different etiquette out there. And I was being taught a few things by Eric.
It's a jungle in there. It is a jungle. It's a war zone, and it's every man for himself. But Eric's passion for organizing his day around the bathroom got me caught off guard.
No, Mitch is boxing me into this thing about saying that I'm organizing my day around a piss.
Well,
that's not true. We were talking.
Exactly
Can we play back him say, I organize my day around a pit? Like, that's what you said.
No. Guys, don't like being ganged up on right off the jump. What I said was, the quote was, if you're going to a movie, right? A long movie. We're about to watch
which movie?
A 3-hour. We're gonna go see Avatar.
Oh, okay,
there we go.
Right?
Yeah.
Avatar 2.
Wait, what are we getting for snacks?
3+ hours.
Popcorn.
Okay.
A lot of it.
3+ hour movie. I'm going to, no matter if I don't really need to go to the bathroom, I'm going to at least try to go to the bathroom before I sit in my seat, because I don't want to get up and go piss. And I don't want to even think about pissing when I'm watching Avatar.
Right.
And Mick said he doesn't do that at all.
Yeah.
No, but to my thinking, it's like, you don't need to piss, but you've convinced yourself you need to go to the bathroom and do nothing for 10 minutes. And then in your head, you're surely leaving being like, eventually I'm going to be back there.
Okay.
Eventually I'm coming back. I'm going to go to the bathroom. You set a bad precedence because all you're thinking about now is using the bathroom. Whereas I'm saying, just let it happen. Like, if you need to go to the bathroom, you need to go to the bathroom. You're going to be distracted watching Avatar anyway. Like, what do you got?
Yeah,
like a big gulp?
Can we unpack why we're watching Avatar? I still don't know why we're watching this movie together.
It's a fantastic movie.
You could have picked something.
It's a fantastic movie.
Okay, sorry, what do you want to watch?
I don't know. Titanic.
Okay, fine. Titanic.
You go to the Titanic. I'm
fine.
happy to go to the Titanic. I'm huge on that.
The point stands, whether we're watching Titanic or Avatar, I'm still going to piss before it.
Okay.
But you're not actually going to piss. You're saying you might not have anything in there.
I never think that I have zero piss in me. There's always I always can piss a little bit. And this is my point, because they're saying I organize my day around a piss. Let's say, right, okay, Titanic's on, Avatar's on.
Whoa,
we're going to it in 20 minutes, right?
Yeah.
Who's driving?
I don't give a fuck who's driving.
I need the details.
You're driving. I gotta piss. But I know that before we get into that movie, I'm going to the bathroom. I'm gonna save it. I'm holding this piss.
You're not gonna go
until I'm not going now. I need to go. Because I want to, and this also ties right into what we were talking about before, which is you want to be the guy at the urinal pissing hard.
Wow.
Drilling a hole in the porcelain.
Yeah, you don't want to
be the guy who's like,
weak.
You clearly can't piss. Exactly,
weak.
weak.
But you don't want to hear drips.
You don't want to hear drips.
Forceful
You want to be
scream.
frying chicken in there, drilling it in. And so that's why I'm going to save this. 20 minutes, I can hold it. I can hold it for 20.
No, but my
and
point...
then because I go to the bathroom now, and then... in 25, we get there in 20 minutes. It's 5. We park. We're now in. It's 25 minutes later.
Right.
I'm gonna try and piss again.
No, but this is my
I'm gonna try and piss again.
You can't. You've just gone on a tangent about how you want to drill holes in the bathroom, right?
Yeah.
I get it. Heaviest stream wins.
Yes,
all right. Loudest stream wins.
It is a
I get it,
competition,
right? But if you're going like. This is your thought process. I'm going to play it back to you. I'm going to go to the movies in 25 minutes. Don't need to piss, but I'm going to piss, right? But I don't want to be a guy who's not pissing well. And then you get there and you piss poorly.
No.
No, because you don't know that you need to use the bathroom.
And then you gotta think about
you've
that.
convinced yourself. You're like, I need to do this. And then you probably could have held it and then had the greatest piss of all time
Yeah.
at the end of the movie.
Oh,
But
but
don't
no. That's
You're
an
gonna need to
uncomfortable.
piss.
That's an uncomfortable
Yes.
last 30 minutes
Yeah.
at least, and then
Yeah.
you don't want to
You're
leave.
banking that you're
Yeah,
gonna need to piss
but-
during the movie. You might
am.
not. And
No,
you can have
no.
a bad
I
piss
will. I
before the
will.
movie.
No, that's not true. That's
Yeah,
not
but
true.
I'm thinking
That's
long
crazy.
term
Yes,
here.
I think you're on my side, Karen.
But okay. Yes, I believe as the mother instinct in me, I'm like, guys, should we try? Should we try to go to the bathroom before the long car ride, before the long movie? But what I'm
Where-
more concerned
where
about
I'm
for
at.
you, Eric, is
Yeah.
you're breaking the seal when your body is saying we don't need to, and I think you might be causing more urgency and frequency, and this may be something
You
you
might
might
be
need
right.
to get checked out.
Bottom line
You
is,
might be right.
You don't
You
need to
abso-
convince yourself to piss.
Hold
Your
on.
body will tell
I
you
just don't want you
when it's
forcing it.
ready.
Yeah,
to
no,
go to
I
the
get what I get
bathroom.
what you're saying,
Yeah.
Karen. Here's I can't enjoy something if I'm also thinking I gotta piss.
Yeah, but
I can't. Like even yesterday, we're watching the 800.
yeah.
I had to piss a little bit, and there's a part of me that goes, I don't like this.
Yeah.
Right, we're kind of in the middle of this row,
Right.
and very skinny row, kind
I
of
get
tough to
that.
get out.
I get-
and I was
I don't
like,
like
I don't,
It was like fine
I don't
for
want to
me.
walk
You're
past people and make them
interrupting.
get
I
up.
get it.
But
I
I
get
also,
that.
if I was sitting on the aisle,
Yeah.
would have pissed. Now I don't like thinking. I'm like, look at this. Like I'm watching Titanic, right? And it's
There we go.
Look at his listening card.
Jack's clinging onto that door, and I'm like, I got a
That's at the
full
end. You're
bladder.
almost at the end, though.
You're
You're almost at the end of the movie,
Yeah.
though.
Okay, well, I still can't enjoy the climax because I gotta piss. All right. So the point
That's a great
is
clip.
the point
Guys
is
everywhere
I
are like,
just
"Huh."
I guess I center my entire days around when and where I need a piss.
That's you went on
Right.
this 15-minute tangent to come back to my point exactly that you are planning your day around maybe, not
Yeah.
even guaranteed piss.
No, it's guaranteed piss.
No,
Yeah.
it's not.
Yes.
You're telling me every time
you
you
see how
walk in the room,
hydrated
you
I am.
piss.
I'm
Yeah.
always
That's
always
crazy.
putting liquids in me.
That's
Right.
crazy.
I'm gonna need a piss. Okay,
Yeah.
especially if I'm going out in public and we're doing all these fun things where I'm not gonna be able to get the chance to in a while. I'm pissing.
Would you ever hold back the hydration, or is that a non-negotiable?
Like
I dehydrate myself for planes.
okay, I do that.
Yeah, I
if I'm
typically
I'm
don't.
sitting on the window, if I know I got a window seat and I've got like a 3-hour flight coming up, I'm like I don't want to be overhydrated and I think
excuse me, can I get
I think for a 3-hour flight, maybe you get maybe I'll ask the person to get up once, if at all. I probably won't ask them at all.
once is an appropriate.
Once is
amount.
appropriate.
Yeah.
2, you're like, no.
Yeah.
If I'm aisle
Yeah.
for like a 3-hour flight and the window's like, hey, can you get up? I go, I just got up for you like 45 minutes
No,
ago.
not
You
happening.
used your
Yeah.
get up.
You get one
You get
card.
one.
You get one chance.
Yeah.
Right.
I agree with that. But I just
We got your back.
Yeah, no, but I just well, I clearly don't think about piss as much as you guys. Like, it's kind of
Right.
I'll be doing something and then my body will tell me it's like time to go. And I'll be like, let's go piss.
Yeah.
It's a
Okay.
pretty
Yeah.
simple process.
What I'm hearing is, we've got you more present. You're more present in your emotions and your feelings in the current state. You're gonna be where you are. But Eric's kind of planning. He's saying, how am I going to feel? He's in future mode. So I don't know what you guys want to do with this information.
We're not
obviously-
gassing Eric
okay.
up for thinking about pissing during the day.
No,
are
I
we?
think
Like,
she
that's
was
not where
she was
we're at.
gassing you up. You were like here and
yeah,
now
just-
in the present, and I'm
Well,
just
you both
planning
got
everything around
gassed up.
piss.
Okay, thank you.
I think you
Yeah,
were
okay.
anticipating me to have a dig at someone.
Yeah,
did.
just
I did.
I got my back up.
Well, I mean,
got
I would like to be
defensive,
more
and I
present and not
apologize.
constantly thinking about, I guess,
Your
planning my
needs.
day around going to
Yeah.
the bathroom.
So you admit now that you
I know,
plan
I-
your day around
In
using the
Maslow's
bathroom.
hierarchy, Eric's just bottom. Eric's
said it.
No, look, I think
Oh,
in like the
fucking
regular
hell.
day-to-day things, I don't go to a lot of movies. Not anymore. I did.
it sounded like you're like recovering from like a movie
Yeah, what was
addiction.
going
You're like,
on?
no,
I went to so
I don't touch the stuff anymore.
Movie popcorn is
Oh my God, like-
incredible.
It's better than
So
regular.
the
Yeah.
amount of
Yeah.
free you don't get the amount of free time you have as a professional runner. It
Crazy.
just sets up
Yeah.
so perfectly for a lot of movies, especially a nice matinee when you're rarely hydrated.
Yeah.
You see what I'm talking
And
about?
aisle seats.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
humming now.
Yeah.
Go.
That's a
Well,
good
hold on.
time.
This brings me to drug testing then as a former, professional athlete here. Did you ever get stage fright? Having
like,
to
what
do
the
some,
fuck?
Oh, yeah.
some testing?
Oh yeah. Did I
Yeah?
guess what?
Are you in the cinema, Eric? Any
Yeah.
chance? He's like,
Yeah.
I already pissed before. Sorry, guys. I got rid of it before.
USADA
I didn't really
just-
need to go, but I went.
Here I am trying to watch a movie, and USADA just comes banging down the door.
Whereabouts?
Like,
Yeah.
we want that piss. I'm like, I can't. I just gave it.
25 minutes ago, I
Yeah.
pissed. You know the rules.
No, I
didn't
definitely
need
have
to, but I
that.
got rid of what I had.
Especially, it's so hard to piss after the race because you're so dehydrated, but you also don't want to be there all day. So you're like, you like try a bunch, and you're like, that's embarrassing.
Yeah. It's a
This
trickle.
That's tough.
This guy's watching me
Yeah.
not do it.
I hope
That's
someone didn't hear
tough.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, there have been a few like some drug test moments where you're like, look, I just like here's a partial. We're just gonna keep
They're
coming
like,
back.
sir, this is very full. Like, this is the fullest.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
I'm like, no, I got more.
They're like,
Give me
please.
20 minutes.
Oh, no, it's this guy.
Let me think about
really
it for
tops it
25
off.
minutes.
This guy can piss.
Yeah. This guy's, he's put a hole through the cup.
You gotta see Eric. You gotta see that guy let it loose in there.
They fight for you.
This is crazy.
Truly
They got
impressive.
He actually went to the bowl first
No.
and then pissed in the
No,
cup.
like they're
Yeah.
like, look at this. It's
Crazy.
just a hole in the bottom of the cup. And they're like,
Burn
look at the
straight
guy. We gotta double stack
Burn
these
straight
cups.
through.
They can't stop
I'm
him.
gonna triple cup Jenkins over here.
Wow. Well, lots of piss talk. So
Great way to start the morning, guys.
great way to really start the
Do you
morning.
reckon we've prompted people? They've woken up. They're like, didn't need to piss. Heard a lot about it though. Now I need to go. It's like when you
Honestly.
hear water sounds when you need to piss. Someone talks about it too much. You need
It's
to
like
go.
when I'm watching a movie and I just pissed, but there's a water sound going on.
Like,
Damn it. Could I?
Did I need to do
Could go
that?
again.
I might need a.
Could
Might
go
go.
again. Well, sorry, before I just want to end it on this though. Is anyone a bedwetter? And I mean this.
I'm like, this is a good place to say, yeah, I'm still pissing the bed.
That's all. And I wanted to end on that on a
Yeah.
shameful note.
It's like, so I've timed, as we've now learned, like I'm like centering my whole like days around piss, but like I just can't figure out like you should
Yeah.
piss before going to bed.
Right.
And then it's like 3 a.m., bed soaked, and I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing wrong, but like, man, this is gotta end.
Yeah.
This has gotta end. Mitch is coming down in the morning, and
Like, it
I'm in the
stinks
middle of
again, Eric.
I'm in the middle of the
Stinks
living. He's literally he's just it's just like, oh my god,
Yeah. Ooh.
the whole living room's soaked to the bone.
Right. You're on the.
So yeah, I'm still pissing.
Yeah. Good. I'm glad. I'm glad we're all in tune with our bodies. I think that's very important. Mitch, you were in the stadium today, hopefully
was.
getting some bathroom breaks in you. It's hot out there.
You know what's
Stay
crazy? Didn't
hydrated.
piss once. That's crazy.
Dude, you've
You
got
did,
to
you're
drink
holding
more water.
I gotta
begging you.
more water. Yeah, please.
Yeah. Or do they give? Is there? Because in the stadium, there's limited resources, right? They don't have alcohol in that stadium. I think that could easily get to people if they were chugging beers a lot. It's the environment for it. But
Yeah.
it's a little difficult. I think you got to go downstairs. They make it difficult to hydrate in there. Are you guys taken care of? How's your zone?
We've got some bananas and some coffee, but that's and some protein bars. I'll bring some back for you. Yeah, sorry. I don't know why I haven't been.
Crazy that this is how we're finding out
Crazy
about
is the
it.
first time you find out. My bad.
Wow.
But there's no,
Yeah.
there is, well, I haven't seen any, but Chris tends to have a water bottle. So I don't know if he's buying one on the way in, but I haven't seen water bottles up
Yeah.
there. It is hot. Like it's definitely warm.
Yeah.
Maybe it's on me. I should be bringing in a water bottle, but they make you, when you go through the security, I'm sure it's the same, but when you go through those scanners, like they make you drink what you bring in /
Yeah.
like they make you take a sip from it or whatever. So
That's the strange part to me. I don't think we see this in America a lot, but usually it's empty, full empty. You can't have any sort of liquids with you. Here they're allowing you to open it and take a sip. And
Yeah.
it's
Wait, so you can
So it's
you
like
can bring in like a half full water bottle, but they need to see you drink it.
they need to see you drink it.
exactly.
So it's like they think what it's
I
like
think
people
I
are
think
it's like
poisoning.
poison
Yeah,
in
yeah,
there,
yeah.
Yeah.
Like the other day I went through and I had like a roll-on deodorant thing because you're in there for so
You're like,
long.
put it
it's
on.
hot. Yeah, I'm like I need it.
Drink
You're
it.
like, is
Yeah.
this protocol? They're
That's what he
like,
did. He
no,
went
we
in there.
needed
He's
you.
like, can you like have a drink? I was like, no.
Deodorant.
Yeah, I'm like, it's just I'll die. Like, no, I'm not doing that. And he caught on
Oh,
quick.
spray.
Good for him. Like he no, like roll on. Like
That guy's
He
just
asked-
confused.
hold on.
He's just confused.
This son of a bitch asked you to take a sip of your roll-on deodorant.
Because it goes through the scanner.
Yeah.
And then maybe it looked like a little bottle of water. I don't know. And then he was like, he was gesturing to me because obviously I don't speak French.
Right.
And he was like doing this. He was like, take a drink. And I was like, I don't have a fucking drink in there. And then
He's like,
pulled it
just-
out and he just kept going. He's like,
He's
take
like,
a
just
drink.
try,
I'm
just
like,
try.
Mate, I can't. There's no liquid in here. Like,
Yeah.
first of all, like, what am I going to do? Lick the deodorant ball? Like, I don't know. What would make you feel better in that situation?
I wish you
Dude,
did.
I would have done
And then
it. I'm
after-
like, this guy knows. This
Yeah,
guy,
I'm like,
I
I'll
gotta
lick
do
I
it.
will. It's mine, but I don't want to do that.
would've been so
I've
flustered.
been
Yeah.
6 days, dude. I don't really kind of
I
want
would
to
have.
lick it.
I would have
was
licked the
passing.
I would have licked the deodorant and immediately been like, "Well, now I gotta piss."
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Now
I got a
I'm-
belly full of
Yeah.
deodorant, and
Oh,
now
man.
my bladder is
just
fucking
all-
running.
All over the place.
God.
Yeah.
Can you imagine the mindset you'd be in?
Yeah, you'd
going
be
down
all
to
over
the
the
track
place.
after like licking
Yeah.
a bunch of deodorant
You'd
for
actually
some
be
reason.
like
Like ashamed.
hallucinating. Yeah.
Oh my god!
Hallucin-
Yeah.
To be like, hey,
Hallucinating.
your breath has never smelled better. It's like you wouldn't
Right.
believe don't worry about toothpaste anymore, guys. Just
Yeah.
lick the roll-on deodorant.
I wonder if they did
Go
that
see
though.
my friend at
The
security.
security
wonder if
guard's
there's a
like,
quota.
wow. The security guard's like, dude, did you
Dude,
see what I got him to do?
He's like, I nearly got that guy to lick deodorant.
Yeah.
It's like, you gotta stop doing that.
It's
It's
I
like,
bet
yeah,
you
yeah,
they've
yeah.
got a game, like
We've
a
been
tally
meaning to
going.
talk to you about that. Can you stop getting people to do weird things? They made me chug a Red Bull the first day.
They're like, that one was just for
I don't
us.
think that guy
We
got the
wanna
memo
see.
that you just need a sip. Like, he was like, no, you're finishing that thing. I was like, this is not a chug thing. This is like a 20-minute slow burn consumption. Like,
Yeah.
I could feel my heart racing after that. But that's probably why I'm not bringing in any liquids.
Yeah.
It makes me nervous what they're going to make me do.
No,
but
I think you got to be careful out there. You got to be careful. It's hot, but it
It's
sounds like you're
hot.
decently you're smelling better. At least if you're not hydrated,
Yeah,
you're written
I smell
deodorant.
great.
That's important out there.
it is crucial.
You were down there on the ground. Biggest thing coming out of this morning: 1,500-meter heats. They
Yes.
were smoking. They were fast. I think similar to the 800 heats that we saw for the women. People are going after it. They're not leaving any chances. I think up to little cues here. Walk me through some of what you saw. We had our Americans out there, right? We had Emily Mackay, we had Ellie St. Pierre, and we had Nikki Hiltz.
Yeah.
All in separate heats, mind you, in the three.
Yeah, I think they did their best to separate the countries. All the Australian women were in separate heats as well. And yeah, I mean, look, a lot were doubling back from last night. Obviously, Faith and everybody like that from that final last night came back, got through. But I mean, it was always going to be world class. You know, the state of women's 1,500 meter running in the world at the moment is, if not one of the best events on track, it's right up there. So the important thing, like there's obviously the Juge, so the repechage is in the 15, so women get a chance to come back. But all the big hitters looked really good. You know, it was great. I'm assuming, I can't remember, but all three Americans got through.
They made it, yeah.
Yeah,
All
which
three
is
went
great.
through.
Did see Nikki in the mix zone. They looked great. They were really pumped to make it through to the semi. And obviously, you know, from an Australian perspective, Jess looked phenomenal.
Yep.
That is the best I've seen Jess looking around.
Yeah.
And she talked about it. She was like, it's not a nerve-wracking thing for me anymore. It's like, it is a exciting thing. Like, I get in here and the anticipation is I'm going to go through. Like, that's the
Yeah.
first time I've been to a major, and that's been the anticipation. So that's great.
Yeah, she closed in a 59, I believe they said
Wow,
on camera,
really?
which was incredible. Yeah, from someone, you know, from Australia, seeing her trajectory in the last few years. What are you seeing different this year than we haven't seen from a Jess Hall previously at a championship?
Did she win the heat?
She came second, I think.
Yeah,
She
just to
might, well, this is the thing. In that third heat, they all pushed to win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, they were gone. They were all in the top six, that leading group of three.
Yeah.
I kind of liked it. I kind of like seeing that bravado on the line where it's
Right.
like, no, I want you to know that I've got something here.
Yeah.
They get a day break too, right? So it's not going to take that much sting out of your legs because that repechage is tomorrow. But I mean, the thing with Jess is she's always had the ability. Like, she's always been talented. She's made world finals before. She was fourth at World Indoors this year as well. I think that race in Paris just showed what she's capable of, and that you don't need to fear the likes of Faith Kipyegon. You can actually harness what she does and benefit from it, and to push Faith the way that she did in Paris and then break the world record and have this like near perfect lead into a major championships is just
Yeah.
unlocked this, you know, confidence that everybody thought Jess had, and now she's
Yeah.
shown, and now it's dealing with expectations of being one of the favorites. Like, that's new for her. So
What's the highest Jess has finished at a world major?
4th world indoors this year.
Yeah,
And then
outdoors.
I think I have a feeling she's been top 8.
Yeah.
Towards
Yeah.
the back end of it, but yeah, no, I'm really excited for her. I mean, to look at heat 1
Yeah.
as well. I mean, to talk
So-
on that. I mean, it was a great heat. They did. I'll tell you what, the heat sheet guys did a good job with this one.
Nailed it.
They actually split these up really well.
Right,
They
right.
had good talent
We
in
saw
and amongst it.
Tanaka from Japan
Fast.
really take it out.
They just the Japanese middle distance runners just do not mess around. They
Yeah.
get right out there and just give them everything.
There should
to
be a
chase.
little. I honestly think they should mess around a little bit because they did. Did they? Are they in the Zhuge?
Yeah, in the Zhuge.
Okay, so
there you go.
okay, so
Okay.
wow, it prevailed. The tactics, the Japanese tactics of making it the hardest possible race every single time
Yeah.
It
prevailed this time. It worked.
There we
Yeah.
go.
But man, these heats were like Emily Mackay made it through
Yeah.
3:59. Like it's just so fast. 3:59 for the opening round.
Crazy.
10 a.m. over here to be like it is.
Yeah.
It is brutal. It is
Right.
crazy how fast these women are running.
Yeah.
Looking ready to go.
yeah.
We had Laura Muir kind of out in lane 2 for a little bit. I think, Laura looked good for most of that race. I think she finished in strong. She's someone that I think is kind of a veteran out there. We've seen her time and time again on a world stage. And I always look for, who's in lane 2, who's working harder, because it's one of two things, right? It's either like, oh, they worked harder, maybe going into the next round, they might be a little gassed, or it's like they're that fit that lane 2 is no bother.
Yeah.
Right?
No, and Laura Muir, she's built into the season really well. Like she probably started a little bit slower than what she would have liked, but coming through these Diamond Leagues now, like as I said, she was a 354 maybe in that Paris Diamond League, maybe even 53. So she, we talked about it at the start of the championship. She was that one that kind of missed the move when it was made by Faith and Jess, but she looked really good. She was quickly through the mix zone, didn't really talk all that much. But she's an Olympic silver medalist. Like, she is such a class athlete. She's certainly a veteran now. Like, she is that. Probably someone that younger athletes might try and model their training and model their racing off. But she's a class competitor. I fully expect her to be in that final. Australian perspective, Georgia Griffith, like a 3:59 for her. She only broke 4 for the first time this year. She's now our 3K national record holder as well. She's at an underrated year. I tweeted today that like she is an athlete who's made world championship finals. Like she's so underrated in Australia. So I assume on a global scale she's incredibly underrated. But if you were to go back and watch, ran that race to perfection. And Soph O'Sullivan, the daughter of Sonia O'Sullivan, arguably the greatest athlete, the distance runner, without a doubt, in Irish history, just misses there on 4 minutes. She grew up in Australia, so represents Ireland, as she should, being the daughter of Sonia O'Sullivan. But, she at 4 minutes to find yourself in the repechage is crazy. Like, you can run 4.00, like 4.06 and be in the Zhuge is wild.
That's probably the hardest spot as far as the repechage goes to, because if the little Qs were still around, that would have probably, I imagine she was probably would have been the first time qualifier for sure. So to run that hard, and now she's got the repechage. It's tomorrow morning, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be tough. It's like, obviously, you want to make it into, like, you want to be making it through these next rounds, but this is one of those situations where if you're her, it's like there's nothing more what more could you have done? You almost broke 4 for the first time on the Olympic stage. Fantastic race. Hopefully she's able to bounce back a little bit and find something in the repechage round and maybe make it through.
The repechage rounds are going to be pretty fun.
Yeah.
There's some
Well,
really good athletes, and you're seeing a lot of 4 flats and whatnot get in. But
Yeah.
Wow, 4 flats not getting in to the semi.
I mean,
that's crazy. I think we saw from Nikki, especially at the trials, talk about how if I and also Sinclair Johnson, who didn't make it in, but say if I knew waking up this morning that this was going to be the time to have to make the team, it's like I would have gone back to bed. Like it's insane. And if we want to look over at Heat 2, a little bit of a different race. We saw a more honest race, I think, in the first heat. We saw at least a little cleaner, a little even. Heat 2 went out in 66, ended up still running 3:59. right?
Yeah.
So we saw some different tactics here. We saw, Faith in here. We saw Nikki. Nikki really talked about after the race patience. Patience, that was like their main word, and I think focus for this. I think we also saw that from Faith a little bit, coming back. I think this was an incredible heat. And yeah, different tactics, right?
Yeah.
Being run in this one.
Yeah, and I saw Lyndon, the Australian, get to the front, which I was really excited by because, she's run 356 this year, but she tore a calf 10 days before the game. So she's running on a fully torn calf, which is crazy.
She is.
So she's coming back tomorrow. I was like, are you going to come back? She's like, you don't just, I'd have to be dead not to come back. So that's, shout out to Lyndon Hall. But yeah, I mean, they don't need to do too much, right? Like the Faiths and the Nickies of the world, like, they just need to be in a position to stay in the top 6. You don't need to win these. It's great if you do, but you don't need to. Like Maya Ramsden's another one who gets through. NCAA.
Was she in that? She was in that.
She was in that
heat.
She was in that heat
right?
as well.
Yeah.
Like I think they were the. Yeah, like a real kick down. So big ups to New Zealand to have somebody in there. NCAA champ, now part of OAC. So that's great for them because it's been a bit of a hard championships for that crew. So she's obviously new there, so she's only just jumped in. But to Mac's point, like the people that aren't making this top 6, there's only 3 in these 2 heats of the repechage that go through each heat. So that's going to be an absolute battle for them. But yeah, I mean, big props to Nikki and Faith. They looked fantastic. And like you'll see, heat 3 as well, it was just head to head. It was just, the cream of the crop really duking it out. Obviously, naturally, loved to see Jess right up there pushing for the win, but the women behind her as well. It got strung out a little bit, but for the most part, it was pretty competitive.
Pretty competitive. Heat 3, then for the final heat, we had Ellie Purrier St. Pierre in this one. They really love the farm girl in her. They never don't mention that she works on a farm. It's always the visual for me. I just picture her, tossing hay barrels and milking cows. But she was out there, I think, doing what Ellie does best. And I love seeing her and Jessica Hull in the same heat. Obviously, to me, I think Jessica's in such an interesting position now because, yes, she has chased down Faith. We typically pair her with Ellie, but I think this is interesting for Ellie now because we really haven't seen this back and forth and have her have the chance to compete with all 3 of them. I think that begs the question is, where's Ellie going to fall amongst those 2?
I mean, if you look head to head, Ellie's got Jess covered. If you were to literally run it based off of how they've competed against each other, Ellie's out in front. It's just now that question of time. But then also in an Olympics, there's no guarantee you're going to see a 350. In these races in the lead up, they're meant to be fast. There's no other alternative or like ulterior motive than to run fast. So when, Faith makes that move at a Diamond League, it's like, okay, we're going to go chase it and see how it happens. Like an Olympic Games psyche might be different, and it is different. But not to suggest at all that Ellie can't go that quick. Like she's such a class. She's world indoor champion.
World indoor champion and fresh.
Yeah.
I think we've seen Ellie a lot double back. And I mean, she's got the 3K strength. She's got the mom strength, as we know. Lots of moms out here exemplifying that strength these days. And I just am excited to see a fresh Ellie, I guess maybe pre-classic. We did see her decently fresh against Jess Hull. That was maybe a more indication of where she was at. But at that time, what was that, a month and a half ago? 2 months almost?
Yeah.
I think we might see a little different Ellie out there.
Yeah, the way that you like, if let's say everyone makes it through to the final, all the top stars, the people that we expect to, the way that the final is going to shape out, it's just going to be so good. Jess is just taking. Because the Jess and Ellie rivalry, it is a rivalry. It's a cool. They always just match up so well, and it's right down to the line every time they race against each other. I think Ellie benefits seeing Jess race so fast, right? It's like, okay, like this is a woman who I beaten time and time again. Like we go back and forth. She can be up there. Like I know I can be up there. I expect the final is going to be. It's going to be a hard race, right? They're running 3:59 out there first day. It's going to be very tough, and I expect that's just going to suit Jess and Ellie really well. Like they're just going to fall in line, ride the rail. I bet it'll be pretty strung out, depending on how far they go out. So It's going to be great. It's really fun. All the Americans just looked so good today. I felt like Nikki, if you're going to say who looked the best, Nikki looked fantastic.
Yeah, I would say Nikki.
With ease.
Emily, she had to run really hard to get in. I mean, they all had to run really hard to get in there, but Emily for sure off heat 1, I think did she run? She ran 3:59. She ran 3:59.
3:59.
I wonder if she is expecting, because it is. It's so tough when you're like out there, right? And it's it's an early morning race, and she's like, okay, you get into this race, like, wow, we're really running this fast.
Yeah.
We're at like 3:59 right out the gate. That's hard. I expect, like, yeah, you know that it's like every event has taken steps up recently in terms of of just how well they're running, but I don't know if anyone's really expecting to just show up, run a 3:59 right out the gate.
Oh yeah, I don't know if anyone was really expecting to run 3:59, but certainly it's in the cards. We were talking about the differences between the men and the women racing yesterday, and if we go off of time, I mean the women seem to be running faster, but also is it not like 8 seconds away from kind of what the world's best is?
Yeah,
like around 3:50, 8 seconds slower, 3:58. Jakob's ran 3:26. They ran 3:36-ish in the prelims. So
in reference to
in reference to each other. So they are actually kind of close. Everyone's just getting so fast now.
Right.
I think the one cool thing about Ellie at trials was she said Coogan told her not to go out in 2:03. Yeah. Right? That was like her thing. It was like, don't go out in 2:03. What's 2:03 pace? It's 3:50 pace for 15.
So it's like she wants to go out in 2:03.
In my mind, that tells me that her workouts are telling her that she can potentially run that quickly. Yeah. And I don't think that any of us would say like, oh, she absolutely can't. So she doesn't have a 5K in her legs. And I'm really excited to see how fit she is.
Well, and that's the word on the street. I mean, even trickling down to someone like me, who wasn't in the pro scene but has a periphery. I mean, that's Ellie is a workhorse. That's I think what everyone consistently
She's
says.
a farmer, and right? That's why they keep bringing it up.
They had to bring that up.
Yeah, workhorse.
We're gonna bring it up just as much because she's an incredible, just all around person, but. She's a workhorse. I think they said something like she drives like, an hour or two even just to get to the workout. I think she's just, a competitor and all around isn't going to let anything like distance get to her. And her training partner, Emily there in her post-race interview, she said, I'm just happy because I just said I can say I'm an Olympian now. And that's on these people's minds, right? Like they haven't been here. Someone like Emily hasn't been to the Olympics. And as we saw with Yard Nagus, a couple years ago, he didn't race. And I think there's always like that stigma of, can you call yourself an Olympian if you don't finish any race here, a heat or whatnot? And so I think that's just a little intel into her psyche, right? Like, of course, we're thinking final, we're thinking championship, but these people are human. And she was thinking, I just want to call myself an Olympian. Let me like get to that line and be able to say that for the rest of my life.
Yeah. No, I'm really pumped. I mean, I think the comparison to Ellie and Jess is great. It's, if that's what Coogan's told her, I mean, like, don't go out in 2:03. You must be wildly confident in what she can do. That's exciting, like that. And there's nothing to suggest she can't. She's one of the strongest runners in that field in terms of end of race endurance to be able to hold pace. Like you can't express how important that 5K ability is in a 1500. I know multiple women have it. Obviously, Faith, the best of them. Jess 1440 runner as well for a 5K. So. There's multiple women that have it, but there's also women that are stepping up from the 8. And I think in a race like this, having that 5K background is going to prove to be so crucial. And if, Ellie's coming in fresh, as you mentioned multiple times, that's really exciting. Obviously, I'm going to side with Jess. I'm going to say Jess still has the measure. And it's exciting as an Australian to push forward a legitimate case and be like, yep, there's talented people in this field, but there is nothing at all to suggest that at the end of the day, Jess Hull couldn't be an Olympic medalist or, hopefully at the top of the dais. But whatever happens, this battle now, bringing back the stronghold that the Kenyans and the Ethiopians have had on this event is really exciting. And obviously Laura Muir, it really kickstarted that with her Olympic silver. But it's incredibly exciting to have them duke it out and be at the front of this field and not be like, how fast can they go in the final? It's like, no, how well can they compete for a medal at the Olympic Games? Like that in and of itself is an exciting dialogue. And like, I'm ambitious for Australia that we can have 2 women in the top 10. I really do believe that. And equally with that, I don't see why there can't be at least 2 Americans in that top 10 as well. So it's exciting. I'm looking forward to the rivalry between us for the next couple of days because I'm like big on the chances of Jess Hull. And I think she's proving it right before our eyes here at the Olympics, and she proved it in the lead up.
It's so cool that like in these distance events that, you know, used to be that the East Africans had such a stronghold on, you know, Kenya, Ethiopia, all these, like now it's Australia, America, Great Britain, like everybody, like the world is starting to catch up a little bit. Obviously, we don't have quite the, you know, it's like Faith Kipyegon and is still like they're not on necessarily that level, but it's still fun to see the world catch up a bit where there's competition. And it's like it's not necessarily. I don't think it's going to be just an East African podium sweep. It is going to be really exciting to see Sagai and Kipyegon battling it out again after a little bit of after the 5K drama yesterday. That's going to be fun. And it's like you never want to see that happen, what happened yesterday. But when it does happen, it sets up nicely for this race. And it's going to add a bit of a backstory. And you just know that the TV coverage, they're gonna harp on that all day long. Right? They're gonna cut away from semifinal races to show it.
The picture.
Like you'll miss the whole race because they'll be talking about it.
Oh, by the way, this is who qualified.
And then we'll miss another under review disqualification. And then we'll have to. It'll be a domino effect.
So it is. Like the way that's shaping up. I don't know what did Sagai win. Did Sagai win a heat? What did she run today?
Sagai was in the first heat, and I do believe that she won.
She won. Okay, so Sagai's fired up.
So she was pissed.
She's
she was pissed off.
3:58.
That's crazy.
I mean,
wow.
I did ask Georgia. I was like, "Did you think she was going to come out pissed off?" And she was like, "I thought she'd lead to stay the hell out of trouble. Like I thought that she would lead, and like consciously she made a choice. Like I'm going to stay as close to her as I can." Because you're not catching back up. Like if she's going out pissed off, wants to stay in front, just hang on.
Like you see like someone run 3:58 like that, no matter how good you are, and obviously she's unbelievably good, but still takes a lot out of you. Like coming into the final, right? You want to be as ready for Kipyegon as possible, right? And yes, she's got time to recover. She's got a day in between the next round, but still, it does take something out of you. And like if you were a coach, you wouldn't say like, "Hey, like let's run 3:58 and like let's run really hard and burn the legs out of these people." And it's like no, like you'd want to get through as easily as possible. But so I'm really excited to see how like these kind of tactics of making the races, early races. Like this isn't the semi. This is the opening round. You made it a 3:58 race. Like we'll see how you come back from that.
Question for you, Eric. You know, having been on the scene here, you know, someone like Faith, Sagai, they're doubling back, right? So they're going to have tired legs. How much does this at all play into a factor of strategy for the Americans? I mean, are they at all? And I think the easy answer is like, of course, no, everyone runs their own race and they do their own plan. I think that's easy to say, but do you take in account, you know, some of the key contenders as a competitor of what they're doing and seeing which event you're going to focus on? Like, are you taking any of that into account?
Well, I mean, Faith is you know, Faith and Sagai, they are, you know, they're the best. I think it bodes well for Jess and for all the Americans because it's like, look, we would have our hands full if they just did the 15. Now it's not gonna change your strategy in terms of how you're gonna run this race because you're gonna be probably the one sitting on her. Whoever's leading, whether it's Sagai, whether it's Kipyegon, like Jess is going to be just sitting right on them. The Americans, if they make it into the final, just sitting on the right. It's going to be great. It does take stuff out of their legs, right? Like Kipyegon is at the end of the day human. You know, like Sagai's a human. Like you can't just run a lot of really hard 5Ks and be fresh as a daisy come the Olympic final 1500. So I think it just puts the Americans and Jess, Australia, like all the people that can medal, they're seeing that, and also the drama of that, like it's tiring emotionally for Kipyegon and Sagai. Like that that probably takes more out of you than the race in a lot of ways, where it's like to be able to get back up emotionally. It's exhausting. So if you're the people that do think you have a shot at a medal, it's like make it as tiring for them as possible before they get to the final.
Definitely.
Agreed.
I think that makes sense. Before we move on here to the PM sessions that we have coming up, super exciting. We're going to kick it off with our 3 questions of trivia.
Mix, you should have seen how nice I was being to you yesterday during trivia.
So nice.
I was like getting all these. I was getting all these points. I'm like, let's give a point to Mitch.
You weren't even here.
So I got some points.
And I want to be clear, I was supposed to get that point. I was here. But
You can have it. I don't want.
No,
I
I don't
appreciate
want
it.
the
I
point
love
that
the charity
Eric
points.
gave you. I don't want your.
for it.
I don't want your recycled point.
I don't want your dirty points.
No.
Yeah, you keep them.
Get your nasty
I'll take
little
'em.
point.
Thank you.
Oh, it was so dramatic. I don't even know where we left off. I think 6. I think 4.
Yeah.
And I think 4.
I'm within
I think
reach.
that's where we left. Don't check the records. I don't think it's right, but I know Eric. I think is up by 2.
Must be nice,
so,
dude.
Yeah,
Must
it is
be
nice.
Yeah.
Oh God.
It's nice. I need a lead.
Yeah.
He's got the lead, and can he keep it? With question number
not.
1. Approximately how many competitors are expected to compete in the Paris 2024 Games?
Like, not just athletics. You're talking the whole games.
Talking the whole games, and this one
Eric.
will be who can get closest.
Okay.
14,000.
Locked in? Oh, shoot. I guess that's the thinking cap now.
Oh no, he's snapping.
Wait,
He's breaking.
hello?
Um,
He's really thinking.
He's just like, oh, he's sleeping.
Are
really
you nervous that he's really
I'm gonna
giving
say
it?
okay. I'm gonna say if Eric's gone 14 and it's to be the closest, I'm gonna go.
You said 14 what?
14,000.
Oh, even. Okay.
15,000.
The correct answer is
It's gonna be less. I can feel it.
10,500.
I was gonna say 10,000. I was like,
Points
that's way too
for Eric.
low. Oh, I'm an
Yeah.
idiot.
Hey, come on
No,
now.
I don't.
You are an idiot.
I'm with you.
Hey there, come on.
No,
you're not.
sometimes
Guy's
you know.
fucking
You just,
stupid as hell. 15,000. What the hell is
It
wrong
was
with
pretty
you?
stupid. No, I'm kidding. I was just kidding. I'm kidding. Oh God! All right, you've got a chance to redeem yourself
Okay.
here.
He's 3 points up.
Mitchell, with
Okay.
question number 2.
Okay.
Which country has hosted the Summer Olympic Games the most? You don't get any choices.
Here you go, stupid.
All right, Dum
I
Dum, you're
complain
up.
to HR, but it's Eric.
Get in there.
This is a bad appointment.
What's up? Yeah.
Shit.
This is a tough question.
It is.
Oh, thanks, Brainiac.
Honestly, wait.
No, like I'm
Even
trying
the
to help
smart
you
guy's
out.
having a bad time
I'm
with
You
it.
like,
can still phone a friend.
Oh,
And
well,
you
I'll
can
phone you.
and you can get a clue, but I give clues. I don't give my best answer. I'm going to give a clue.
Okay, I phone Karen.
All right. Thank you. Why'd you do it in that tone?
I'm really hoping it's a good clue.
Yeah.
Okay. I gave a really good clue yesterday that Eric
Oh, Eric
surprisingly
phoned in?
got.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was the
Okay,
color
I feel
one.
better now.
He knew his colors.
I did.
Wow, good for you,
It
dude.
sounded really condescending.
Eric knew his colors.
Well, I bet this idiot doesn't.
Oh man.
Please give me a good
All
clue.
right, you've got a clue. The clue is bad coffee.
That is not a good clue. Okay.
It's a pretty great clue.
Who's hosted the Summer Games the most? And the clue is bad coffee.
Anywhere in Europe?
This is a great clue.
I think it is.
Great. This is actually, I think, the best clue that I could have gave.
I mean, I want to say America because of but I'm trying to think like you've had Atlanta. France has had its three. This is, I think it's the third. Wait, Summer Games?
Yeah.
I think they've
Summer
had it
Games.
twice for the Summer Games.
And so you think France has bad coffee? Remember
I do.
the clue is right.
I do.
Okay,
I know,
okay.
but I think a
Yeah.
lot of places have bad coffee. Fucking hell. I mean,
Oh, so you're kind of a snob when it comes to coffee.
I'm a
we're
real
seeing.
snob. Yeah, no, I'm
Yeah.
a real snob.
In retrospect,
Jeez.
this could have been a
Put that out
confusing
of
clue,
there.
but
I mean, I'm gonna
Say America.
America.
the correct answer is
If it's France, I'm gonna cry.
the United States.
Yeah,
Fuck
America,
yeah.
You said on camera,
Cash
remember when we
it
were
in.
drinking, this is
That was a
bad.
good. That was
No,
a
I
good
know.
clue.
Because
Yeah.
it was personal.
No,
Yeah,
I know.
yeah.
You never even said
you
bad
know what?
coffee
I'm clearly
here.
crotchety. Like, it was a great clue. I'm
Listening
sorry.
card rewarded to me.
Yeah, you've got it back in the back pocket.
Thank you so much.
But
okay.
points nonetheless.
Nice.
All right. So we've
Shut up.
got.
No, it honestly, good job, Mitch. You're.
Dude.
That was good. That was cool
Yeah.
to watch.
Yeah.
It was cool to watch like those like 15 brain cells like banging around in there firing. Yeah.
You're working hard. But
It's
you
like
got
it's
there.
like I'm like, don't you remember like the entire thing we had about bad coffee? I'm like, say America. See what he said? I'm like,
right.
it's obviously America. I remember what he said. Say America. That's the right answer. And Mitch is like, could be France.
We
you have
had a
bad coffee?
conversation before that started this week being like, the coffee's not great here. So,
Well, I wasn't in that
so there have been
conversation.
40 fucking conversations, Eric.
I
mean,
wasn't in that
shit.
one.
Oh my God.
Wow. Have you had bad coffee here?
Oh, yes, I've had horrible coffee here, but I'm very excited. I'm very excited to get home to drink coffee.
What if he didn't say to drink coffee? What if he stopped it there?
Actively excited to go home and have a really good latte.
You gotta love this. Like in Paris, right? He's like, oh God, I can't wait to get the fuck out of here.
It's the city of
No,
love. It's
see,
beautiful.
don't box
It's
me,
Paris.
Eric. Don't misquote me. Love Paris, love the food, love the culture, love the people, love that everyone gets up later and relaxes. Love it. Coffee-wise, get me a fucking Melbourne latte.
You
dude.
both are like, here's a quote I said, but don't quote me.
Yeah.
Like that's you. That's
I say one thing about one part of Paris is like, oh, Mitch hates Paris.
Oh, and
It's
I
not
say,
that way
oh,
at
and I
all.
say, I'd like to go to the bathroom before a movie, and you both are like,
you
oh, plan your
circled
day around to
and
piss.
Said you do. Oh, fucking hell, dude.
Boys,
I'm
boys,
seriously-
boys.
I'm glad you're here, Karen. I'd be swinging. It'd be like the train on the way back from the track. I hate that guy.
All right, Karen, let's get
Oh
let's
my
get to the
God.
final question.
I think we need to
Jeez.
get to the final third question to settle the score here, boys. And in the 2028 Summer Games, we have discovered, and it is known, they will be held in Los Angeles, California. Where will the 2032 Olympic Games
Mitch.
be hosted?
Brisbane.
The correct answer is
If it's actually not Brisbane, I will. It's Brisbane. What are we
home
talking?
of the best coffee around, folks.
Yes!
It's Brisbane, Australia.
Yep. And welcome to Australia. And I'm going to make it fucking unbearable. Let me tell you.
We're gonna be there. Like,
Make
the
it a hard
coffee's
time
okay.
for
I
you.
don't
Oh
love
my
it
God,
either.
can you imagine being there and how annoying he'll be?
So bad.
Oh my
So
God.
insufferably bad.
Yeah.
Metal Council
Oh.
changed, and I'll tell you what, it'll be a total, not a gold. I'll tell you.
Yeah,
and then
ma-
you'll be coming to me and be like, such a classic Australian move, and I'll say, yep, get over it.
Mitch is like, let's start counting fourth places too.
Let's just finalists.
Yeah.
Let's put them in there.
Anybody?
Look, Australia's been doing really well. I'm not gonna lie.
So
to
are
you
we not?
these
We're
days.
now tied at trivia.
No, we're not tied. To settle
No.
it off, we've got 7. I'm every time I say a different number, but I believe it's 7, 6. I'm 4. But I've taken some hits here, guys, with there being like anyone can get the point if it's closest. So I'm willing
You
to
have,
do that.
yeah.
You've been
I'm
a
pretty.
trooper.
I'm a giver.
Yeah,
you know, I'm.
you've been a
I'm
trooper.
That was
a martyr,
very nice
so.
of you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, thanks,
Karen,
guys.
you're doing a great job.
Aw,
Yeah, you really are.
stop.
Karen,
What?
we're not saying this enough. You're doing a great job.
All right, what's your favorite thing about me? I don't know. I
Just
don't know.
your patience.
Okay. Oh, similar to Nikki on the
Yep.
on the interview.
Eric and
I
I, we're not
resonated with
easy.
that.
We're
No,
not easy.
You're not, but as some people may know,
Yeah, man, you're not easy. Put your
Fuck.
hand up.
see, I
Doesn't feel good to cop strays, does it?
No, it does not.
Does it hurt a
Don't.
little bit?
just a little. Well, as
Me
someone
and my
with
15 brain cells thought of that one all by ourselves.
no, after that, you got 16 now. You've bumped it.
Great.
Up.
We're
this is
accumulating.
a classic Lesowitz car ride for me. I've got 3 older brothers. I'm corralling them. I'm just glad, like, you guys are, You guys are smelling good still, right? You got the deodorant.
I'm about to go lick some deodorant. I'll tell you that much. Just
Yeah, then you'll be
double
down to about
I'm
12
gonna
brain
double
cells.
down, yeah.
All right.
That'll
Well,
be at Eric levels.
this evening session's coming on up, everybody. It is so exciting. We've got 3
Let's talk about it.
Let's do it,
finals!
Nick. We get away from my brain cells.
Get
please.
away from how smelly you guys
Scared
are.
for them now.
3 finals tonight. I think we're going to skip over, a couple of the other ones. It's the men's 400 semis, the women's 400 hurdles. But the 3 major finals that we got to touch on today, guys, are the men's 1500 meter final, electric. If they don't bring out the light show, I think people should protest and walk on the track, get it to happen. Women's 3K steeple final and the women's 200 meter steeple final in that order. Kick it off with the 15.
They just do one
We
water
do it?
jump.
What?
We don't.
The women's 200 steeple final.
What? Did I say the 200
You
steeple
did.
final?
You
Yeah,
did.
You did.
Oh,
It's cool.
no.
Yeah.
I'm down a brain cell, Mitch.
Hey,
Join
Mix.
down
Hey,
there.
Mix.
We're
You're,
good
we're-
at company.
yeah, you're
It's great
rubbing
to have
off.
company.
You're rubbing
Wait,
off on
Company.
us.
Yeah.
How great would a
Fucking
200
brainiac over here? I mean, it's hard.
Wait, who?
It's hard.
A 200 steeple would be kind of cool, though,
Be
wouldn't
lit.
it? I think I saw what I wanted
That'd be
to
a
see.
lot of injuries.
Yeah.
Imagine getting to that steeple. That'd be crazy. What do
Is
they
there
start
one?
at the runway?
Is there just one?
And
Is
they're
it the
not allowed
water?
to practice. It's just like you just tell
over.
them, you're like, hey, look, I know you planned for just a 200 meter straight race, but
You're
we're
not gonna
actually
believe what's
we're going
waiting
to
for
do a
you.
hurdle.
Yeah.
The
With
viewers
the
are going to
water.
love it. Yeah.
They're going to love it.
Look, the numbers are struggling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're gonna put a steeple.
Big
out there.
day, big night tonight.
Yeah. Huge.
So what's the order? Does it go 15 and then ends with the 2? I bet.
Exactly. And we've got the steeple sandwiched right in the middle of those 2 finals at the end there.
Man,
Men's 15.
fucking A. The men's 15 is.
Yeah. We touched on it last night.
We talked a lot about it last night, but
the most
today's the day.
representation we have is the Americans. We've got 3 Americans in there. I mean, I think that's incredible.
Fuck, how sick is that,
Yeah.
Mitch?
So sick, dude.
That is sick.
Excited about it?
Stoked.
He's stoked. He's a
No, I
huge
am
Hobbs
stoked.
Kessler
They're great
fan.
athletes.
Yeah.
Great athletes.
More
Great
medals
for
for you
America.
guys not to
Yeah.
count.
Great for America.
Yeah.
Awesome for America. I
Awesome.
fucking love that.
Right. We've got Cole Hawker, Yard and a Goose, Hobbs Kessler,
Mm-hmm.
3 rounding it out. But the Norwegians, that's hard for me to say, my R's, I'm not going to lie. Norwegians, I had a speech impediment a little bit when I was young in the R's. They do it
Oh.
for me. But I'm better
Well,
now.
you're doing a great job.
Thanks, Mitch.
Yeah.
The Brits, those R's are fine. Americans, those are, I think, the highly represented countries out there. So we're going to see a battle. I mean, I think there's a good chance with that. We have 2 countries represented in the top 3. I mean, just statistically, if we're going to get that, what are your predictions? Which countries holding up their end of the bargain and breaking into the top 2?
Well, Max said 2 Brits on the podium. I really like that with Neil Gorley bringing up one of the spots. No one had that. Like it. I think. Let's see. If there are 2 countries that make the podium, shit, I think USA has a real shot at that. I mean, there's only a few countries that actually have that. But yeah, you could absolutely see both Cole and Yard making the podium, or Hobbs in there in some form, like with how they're looking. And I mean, we're the only country with 3 in there. So
get it.
technically
Yeah.
the odds are
We've got
good.
3.
Right. And that's
Crazy.
But yeah.
That
2.
seriously is very
Unfortunately, obviously, we got the Norwegians. Love Jakob. Fuck Nordis, obviously.
I love the strong,
But-
I love the strong stance on the fuck
Yeah.
orders.
Where did it
Like,
come- where did it
pivoted.
come
I'm
from?
with you. I'm on the train.
Yeah, no, it's
Fuck
fun.
that guy.
It's
Where
fun.
did it come from, though?
But I love
I get it. It's fun to hate.
It rolls off the tongue so
Yeah,
well
fuck
for you.
'em.
It's so, yep. Say it again.
I
We're
will.
on here saying don't
No,
bully.
it
Get
is-
out of the comments.
It is
and then
fun.
come
Well, I
out of
think
that.
Nordis was the biggest bully. I think that's
Yeah.
why I'm saying that.
I see.
I get him.
Yeah, look, it is fun to say it and it is fun to hate. But they do have a very good shot at both making it on the podium.
Yeah.
But Nordis did. I think he was 5th or 6th. So it wasn't like he was
It wasn't pretty getting in.
like getting in very easily. But I mean, I don't know how when he did last year when he got the bronze. I don't know how well what his prelims and semifinals were looking like. He just kind of stormed into the main character conversation of the men's 1500. But
Yeah.
the Norwegians are definitely have a strong possibility of being both on the podium.
Yeah, I think it's a cool event in that it's, I mean, anyone can win gold and silver, but you kind of open the conversation with, you'd think those 2 medals are kind of sorted with Josh and Jakob interchangeable, you know, who they're going to go to, but you kind of think that they're the two. That bronze medal is such a fun conversation. And I was asking like Tamsin Lewis or Tamsin Manu, you know, former world indoor champion from Australia. I was like, who you got? Because she's calling for Channel 9 at the moment. And she was so reluctant to give me who she thought the bronze medalist was, because there's so much pressure, it feels like, on getting that right as a pundit. And you're like, I want to be the person that gets it right, because there's like 7 different ways that it could go. She followed Max. She actually had Hobbs coming through for third.
Max got Gorley.
Oh, sorry, Gorley. But I know there was a conversation about Hobbs. I can't remember who it was. I thought it was Mac.
I think
but
Aisha or someone might have had
yeah,
Hobbs.
someone
she did.
Yeah, someone had Hobbs in there.
So she had Cole for gold.
so-
Did she have another? Did she have?
There we
Max
go.
and Hobbs.
Yeah, okay.
They should do. I think it would be a really cool element if they started to do like in events. If they did like, you know, which country wins the event.
Yeah.
I think it would be real. I think it would add
think it's
I think it would
interesting.
add a layer of. It would make it more fun, and also it'd be. It would. If you started putting a little bit of incentive on country, you know, it's like, okay, you've got all of your athletes from a certain country made to the final. You know, that makes it interesting. And then I think it's because it doesn't just put emphasis on the medals. It's like, okay, like
there's something
fourth,
else you
fifth,
can-
like it makes it so like everything matters. I think
So
it would be. I think it would be fun, and then also people in the stands would love it. Like you're watching at home, and it's like, okay, your country didn't win the gold medal, but how do they stack up in terms of did they win the event?
Cool to have it live on the screen.
I'm just
too.
saying, like the Kenyan duo of Timmy C and Brian Coleman.
Yeah,
collectively, their PRs
Brian
are
Coleman
probably
low-key
the
good.
quickest two of everyone else. They both run 3:28.
Yeah.
And Coleman's run 3:28 this year, and no one's like, oh, he's no shot at a medal.
That's actually
Yeah,
crazy.
you're right,
to
yeah.
think about Brian Coleman.
He could probably win this thing.
He definitely win this thing, 100%. I think I think what's unanimous is that everybody says for Jakob to win, it has to be like he has to make it fast. He cannot wait around. Like if it's a slow race with the kick, he could still win, but I don't feel as confident as I do if it's quick and it's like, oh man, he's the only one that's run 3:26. So if it goes out at that clip, naturally he's the favorite.
Well, and we see him flexing those guns a bit. I think I'm curious to know if he thinks that as well, meaning we've seen him go out super slow from the back, and it feels like he's flexing his like teeth a little bit by the last 200, mowing everybody down. I wonder if he knows that's in the conversation of people saying, oh, he's got to take it out hard because, you know, he's going to have company. And I wonder if that's him kind of saying, no, I don't. Like, I can take it out slow and still kick everybody down.
My feeling on Jakob is that, like, outwardly he is disrespectful in terms of, like, the confidence that he has, but internally he's like, I got to respect the hell out of this field. Like, I think he's a savant of the sport. He's a student of the sport. And I think he's like, holy shit, if I leave this, like, he'll have so many game plans in his head, but I think the one that will stand out will be like, I am the fastest in this field. I am the fastest guy in this field. The best way for me to string this field out, the best way for me to create this legacy as a 2-time Olympic gold medalist in the 1500, which is crazy, is to push the tempo, is to get away, for sure.
Well, remember, Karen, you were in the mix zone at
yeah.
Pre-Classic, and
I'll
I
never
asked
forget
him, I was
that.
like, hey, Jakob, is there any chance you maybe think about switching up your tactics, given like the last couple of World Championship results?
Yeah.
And he was like, looked at me dead in the eyes, goes, are you a fucking idiot, basically? Like, he was like, are you
It's like Karen talking to Mix at trivia.
Mitch is like, I get it.
He goes,
I get it.
I think you have 12 brain cells?
Yeah.
No, and he was like,
Oh, you're dumb with that Australian guy.
yeah, no, I love when the athletes just like completely flip and they start asking. I don't want to call myself a reporter here, but I was in the mix zone, and they're like, "Well, if I've won 28 out of my last 30 races, would you consider that to be successful?" And I'm like, "Yeah, no shit, dude." But like,
That
you're
wasn't
trying
my
to win
question.
the championship final here. So I think, given his response to that, I want to believe him that he will take the pace, but I believe that Josh is going to take over at like 400 to 300 to go. And just because of his comments of like, this is going to be the
Completely
most...
agree.
I actually think,
violent 1500 meter, whatever.
I completely
whatever
agree.
he said.
I think because if Josh is able, so let's say Jakob makes it hard, he's going to need to make it incredibly hard. And if Josh is sitting on him with 150 to go, 100 to go, he's almost going to be unstoppable.
Yeah.
Like he's going to find something to get by Jakob with 100 to go. It's so hard to run as fast as Jakob runs and then kick from the front again. It's so much easier to sit and kick with 100 to go when you're in second place. So I do think, let's say Josh does take it and gets in front, 300, 400 out. I would prefer that. Like, let's say you really want Jakob to win. I think that's better for Jakob than having Josh sit on you for 100. I think he has a better shot at gathering composure and kicking again if he's maybe in second.
Yeah.
I think one of an important thing about this stadium, actually, that no one has talked about, is that there's no running video board facing on the 200-meter side.
Good point, Mac. Very good point.
And
Wow.
I don't know if
I don't think is it.
I don't know if because all the field events are on the 200-meter start side,
All
and
the
I
finals
don't.
are, yeah.
Yeah, and I don't think people realize how important that video board is during the final 2 laps of any middle distance race or distance race, where you're trying to gauge what's happening behind you if you're leading. Yeah. Centro lost the 2020 trials to Cole, I think, because the video board wasn't showing the race at the time. I think they were showing fun. I don't know.
Yeah.
I might be wrong about that, but everyone is looking up the board to gauge the people behind them, and I've noticed it a couple times in some of these races already where they can't gauge how hard they need to squeeze on the backstretch in order to best defend the positions behind them. And oftentimes when you can't see the board, you go too hard. You're
running with fear, maybe.
You're running with a little bit more fear. You're guessing that they're kind of on you or approaching up on your shoulder a little bit quicker than they are. And I think specifically in this stadium, it actually makes it way more difficult to lead over the last lap just because of that.
Yeah, well,
very
and something
cool.
we've seen from Josh that he talked about, particularly at the pre-classic, was he ran on instinct, which I think was so crazy. How he was like getting asked, what was your decision to take it with? I mean, it was decent. I mean, I forget when
600
he took it.
out,
600 out, he took it. And I forget exactly what the quote was, but he was like, something like, I thought it would be stupid to do, so I did it.
Yeah.
And that's how he's running.
Mitch's plan.
It's
Yeah.
Mitch's plan.
Mitch 101.
Yeah.
Yep.
He talked to
that's-
Mitch.
I like
How to
hey,
do it. Just
yeah.
don't
Right before
think,
the
dude. Just
race.
go do it.
Yeah. They're
He's
like, Mitch,
you know
what would
I
you
need to
do?
call? He's like, that Mitch guy. He's like, dude, what would you do? Be like, brother, stop thinking. Don't call me.
It's your first problem,
You're
man.
fine.
Turn
dude.
it
Just
off.
get through it.
Right.
But I mean, the other thing as well is I was thinking about this morning is that in that Monaco race, I know I was actually thinking, God, it's crazy.
Stop.
Don't hurt yourself.
It's why I was fucked for the trivia. But
Exhausted.
like in that race where Jakob ran 3:26, really the only guy missing was Josh.
Yeah.
And so the only guy that we don't know whether he can run 3:26 or not is Josh Cole as well. But I'm talking like in terms of that duo. Obviously Timmy was there.
What does
Jared was there.
the Bowerman mile equate to? Do they run 344? So 320,
28?
like he's run
Okay,
328
a while
before,
ago.
and like he's run 328 at the end of a world champs, like 3 races in. Like I don't know if he can run 326, right? Like it is a couple seconds faster than he's run, but like he definitely looks better than he's ever looked before.
Absolutely.
And he's won it. Like he looks better than when he won and ran 328. Like he looks like. You wouldn't, if he did run 326, you wouldn't be like, "Whoa, where'd that come? That came out of nowhere." You'd be like, "Yeah, that makes sense." He's he absolutely has potential to run 326.
It's also setting up the perfect narrative, the perfect arc, right? We had pre-classic. That was the rivals head to head. Jakob came in undertrained. You saw a little rock in his confidence. Finished it in second, steps behind Josh, and was like, I think everyone's scared with how well I did, knowing that I'm not in full form even close. He's been training through. He's got this incredible just time, to his name now that he's walking in with this badge of honor. Josh is right there, hasn't run close to that, has been in the shadows a bit. I mean, this is a movie. We're playing out a movie right
I thought it was funny, like after Bowerman, like Jakob Lawson was still way cockier than ever. Like
Yes.
it was like they didn't think I lost, but like they didn't think I was gonna run that fast. So I was like, okay, this fucking guy, like nothing, like no matter what happens, the confidence isn't getting shaken. It is. They're both like it's just shaping up so well. They're very consistent. They don't have bad races. Like Jakob's worst races are second place in 328 type of thing.
Yeah.
But like you were saying earlier, very outwardly confident, and like people talk about it all the time as cocky and like a ton of respect. Like he's like he is. There's no way that you've gotten to where he has without showing your level, huge level of respect to your competitors. He wouldn't race the way he does if he didn't respect his competitors, right? He's like, because he's losing to a lot of these guys in just a straight up kicking race. So he's like, look, I know that I need to make it harder than these guys can run. If I want to beat a lot of them.
Yeah.
Obviously, he's very confident and says some beautifully quotable things. I love that. I mean, like, it's so much better than being like a really boring athlete and not saying a lot. It's like it makes it's what we're talking about now. It's what's made us all so excited. Like this whole year, it's just. It's not really like it doesn't seem like cock. Like it's just like very confident. He backs it up for the most part.
He does, and it's never. If you kind of look at it, especially the comment like I could beat him blindfolded. That's a testament to him. He's inward. He's not saying anything. Oh yeah, and he's not being Josh is this. It's I am this.
I am blindfolded.
I am blindfolded.
Yeah.
That's what translated in Norwegian.
Yeah.
Which we arguably did that translation get a little more like testy when it got converted to English. I don't know, but I do hope that we see some incredible performances. In addition to that, moving on to like the steeple, we've got the women's 3K. It's a final. 3 American women once again in this race. So excited. We've got Val Constein, Courtney Wayment. Oh, 2. As I was going, I was like, none of those are other American names. You got me.
Yeah.
But 2 still incredible, knowing that 2 of our world-class athletes weren't able to make it this year. To get 2 into the final, very incredible. The only 2 athletes in here to dip under 9 are Beatrice from Kenya, and we've got Peruth from Uganda. So I'm personally looking at PBs, and I'm looking at season's best, and I'm seeing, those are the only 2 people to dip under 9. Those are where my money goes. I don't know if you guys are looking at something different, but it's like the Olympic champ, the world record holder. I mean, the stakes are so high. And I read the lap count.
Yeah, it's gonna be a really fun one. They're coming up right off the back of that men's 15. It's gonna be like they got a lot of friggin' shit to live up to.
Yeah.
The Americans have run they've run fast before. They haven't run as fast as maybe the top women, but they're good at competing. I like the way that Courtney Wayman looked in the prelim to get here. Mm-hmm. Val Constein obviously looked good. I didn't think she looked quite as good, but still, when you ran the performance that she did at the trials, like you can't count her out. It's gonna be and so that trials run was the 3rd fastest of any woman this year. Like, I mean, that obviously has to give her a lot of confidence. Whether she's able to do it on the biggest stage in the world is a whole nother thing. But Beatrice Chebet, the Kenyans are so incredibly good at steepling. It's kind of interesting. Like the Kenyans have, as far as like the men's go, like the 5K, 10K, Kenya's in a bit of a like they are not performing as well as they have in years past. But they really know how to steeple. They don't actually, never mind. I was going to say, they used to, with Kemboy, he dominated the steeple for like a decade.
I miss Kemboy and his dance.
Kemboy's antics. He'd be in lane 9 the last 100, shaking the hips, shirt off, with the mohawk, like 5'2", 60 pounds. It was like
Where were all the people hating Noah when Kemboy was around?
That guy wouldn't have survived a second in this era. He would have been done. Remember that French guy, also, I think it was European champs or whatever, ran down the home straight and took his shirt off before the race was over, and then he got DQ'd and he got his medal taken away.
That's a shame.
That guy would be killed now.
That
That guy would be crucified.
what was it? Was that Benibad? Yeah. Makisi Benibad. That dude, yeah. I'm like, I got the hat on. It's like,
Magic
Jesus
hat.
Christ. But that dude, first off, that dude would run the most like insane. He'd close in like 50 point.
Like, what the hell?
On a random race. You're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Where that? And then it's like,
And then shut
well,
it
he's
off.
going to get
Yeah.
smashed by Kemboy come world champ, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
This one it's probably going to be fast. Like this
I
women's
would say
steeple,
so.
I would say it's going to be fast. Like the steeple finals tend to be really quick, especially as we've been talking about. The women go for it. They make it hard. Do we see Americans finish on the podium? Hard to say. Like, would you bet money on it? I probably wouldn't. I think it would be an amazing day if one of the Americans landed on the podium, and if they did, I would say it'd be a bronze. But I think a good top 5 would be a huge day for the Americans. Like top 6 is still like a great race, but we'll see. We'll see what how they're feeling, how the race shakes out, how fast it really is. But yeah. I mean, I think making getting a medal is just a bit much of an ask, but we'll see.
Yeah, hopefully it'll be great. And to call back to what you said, hopefully they don't have the air kind of sucked out of their sails, having to follow up, the act of the 1500. So still will be an incredible race. After that, we're going to close the night with the women's 200-meter final. And with this one, we've got 3 Americans headed into the final here. We've got Brittany Brown, Gabby Thomas, we've got Mackenzie Long, and then the returning 100-meter champ, Julian Alfred from St. Lucia, is going to make an appearance. I think this is stacked, right? It's pretty loaded. I mean, trying to round out, a top 3 is going to be tough. One, I mean, to me, it's Gabby. She's got the PB of the selection. She's got the season's best of the selection. I mean, that's a double punch for me. She's coming in this so confident, peaked, but for 2, 3, unless you differ from 1, wondering who you guys have queued up.
I'd like to go first.
Okay. Yeah, fuck it.
Well, I think you were going to say I want to go first. Look, I think Julian Alfred's going to be hard to beat, and I know Mitch is going to say that, and then when I said it after him, it's like, well, I don't have an original thought.
Right.
Also, I'll go on it. Yeah.
Yeah, you can get third. I don't really know. Like, I'm of course I'm going to go Gabby for the win, right? Like, you can't. Obviously, I'm going to say an American. Oh, Mitch is drinking another Coca-Cola.
Mitch.
I'm trying to get some.
Yeah.
All right.
You're going to eat on camera. Okay. Ballsy move. We'll see how the chat feels about that.
I'm not on camera. I was
So
actually
it's
off
just
camera
a-
the whole time.
Yeah.
I could have done
Yeah.
this very quietly. You just really publicly aired
you
out
just house
what
a
I'm
burger
doing in
and
the corner.
shotgun a Coca-Cola before
Oh my
I.
God.
Wow.
Can't do
Yeah, take your
anything
time.
around
Take your
here.
time.
Look, yeah, I'll let
Eric,
you eat.
break
So
it
let,
down.
let me
No,
talk
you're
for a
right.
bit.
Well,
Oh,
Eric
I
and
will.
I will
I will.
two-shot it for a second.
Jack, you want to go first?
Yeah, I think I obviously want Gabby to win, and I think she still is the favorite. But with how Julian Alfred's looked this whole meet, and with how she looked yesterday in her semifinal, I think she had the fastest time of the day. Yeah, there you go.
That looks good.
Let the big dog eat. I like it.
Lettuce. Wow.
I think if Gabby loses, I do think it will be to Julian Alfred. I think that she looks so good, has looked basically just untouchable every single race so far this trials.
Yeah.
I think Gabby's gonna do it, but I think if there's somebody that can knock her off that top position, it's gonna be Julian Alfred.
It's going to be Julian. And you touched on this, like the nature of the Olympic Games and her country. I mean, she's running with like full force, wind at her back. The whole country's rooting for her to bring home another medal, let alone, a gold, great, but just 2 medals to
Yeah.
their country. I can't imagine, to me, the pressure is slightly off, right? Because she's got the gold. She might just be running free out there.
I think that's why she's going to be such a problem. Is obviously she's fast and she's looking good, but she's already got a gold medal. we know that like how huge that is. She's got the first gold medal for her country in the most prestigious event in arguably like the whole Olympics. So I think she's gonna be incredibly tough to beat for Gabby.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think.
Oh,
Julian
hey!
Alfred, yeah, I'll be back. I got a quick bite in. Yeah. Julian Alfred is.
Oh, I just said Julian Alfred.
You got to pick someone.
Am I going to talk? Can I get a fucking word in? This is a stinker of a show this way. I'm not on yesterday's, and then I'm. Jesus. Anyway. Fucking Yanks. Look, I think Julian Alfred wins.
Yeah.
But I think it's incredibly close. I think it's hard for me to bet against Gabby Thomas because she has been the informed athlete all year. She ran that amazing London Diamond League as well. So that's nothing to discredit Gabby Thomas. I just think that Julian Alfred, there's something to be said about winning gold already. And like that thought, that idea, that build up, that anticipation of being a 1-2 gold medalist is invaluable. Like you can't put a price on that. You can't quantify that. She's also looked terrific in the rounds. Really easy. So it's not based purely off hype. It's also based off what she's done. I think it's a real, like they're both really good slingshot athletes off the bend, right? So I have a feeling that 30 meters initially after the bend is going to be the make and break of the race. Alfred may be a little bit stronger, but yeah, I think it'll be super close. Brittany Brown is certainly somebody that's a potential for a bronze medal, and also Nita of Great Britain, right? Like Anderson had said it. He thought that she was a chance in that 100. She's really well suited over the 200. So I think that bronze battle will actually be quite interesting. It's not crazy to suggest that there'll be 2 Americans on there. I don't see the sweep.
No.
Happening. And if it were to happen, that would be just an insane.
I think something big would happen.
Something insane would have to happen for that to go down.
I like how Brittany's looked.
Yeah.
Did Mackenzie Long make it just on time? Did she make it on
was a small
time?
queue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think like when was the last time a small queue in a sprint?
Probably a long time, but I'll just say that like it looks like Mackenzie Long is feeling the NCAA season a little bit. She's been on it for so long, and it's just really
this event,
it's really difficult in the 200 to just continue that sort of like speed endurance for 3.5 months.
Yeah.
In the way that she looked at NCAA's, where she looked fantastic, and then obviously she made the team at trials a month after that. So. Yeah, it's I think a tall order, and I don't. We're looking at season's best here, and she's second.
Right.
Overall, if she sneaks onto the podium, I think that would be absolutely incredible.
Yeah, I think that'd be huge.
Wild.
Yeah.
Wild. Not impossible. Maybe speaks to the depth of the field.
But
It
to
does.
Eric's point, I think Brittany Brown has looked fantastic. And
No,
if there was going to be someone that upset one of the 2, I would say what we're talking about, the 2 favorites in Gabby Thomas and Julian Alfred. I think Brittany Brown might be it for the Americans.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Right.
Like I really can see a possibility where it's an American duo on the podium with Julian Alfred.
But like you said, Nita's look good.
Yeah, Nita's look really great. So's I want to make sure I get her last name right, but Favour Afli, I think it is, the Nigerian. She looked really good in her semi. It just speaks to the volume of depth in women's 200-meter running, but I'm pretty pumped to see this, ding-dong battle between Alfred and Thomas. It'll be a great race. Like, we're in for another great sprinting spectacle tonight.
100%.
Great race there. Great race to close the night. Before we go, because we're about to head out here, I do want to bust out a treat so you can cap off your...
Mitch is full.
Mitch, are you full?
No, I'm starving.
All right. Went to local cafe.
Oh my god.
Sideways here, but okay, guys, we've got some flavors. Are you ready for them?
Mm-hmm.
Went to local cafe. I want to get the name right.
That's
I wrote it down. It's Bolis Bakery. Okay, we've got an apple mint lemon. We've got a strawberry basil, and we've got a berry rose.
Berry Rose.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Go for it.
Oh, you don't like that?
They're gonna be a little funky.
So before I eat
This was apple mint. This is strawberry basil.
Yeah.
he's going to
Oh.
pick apple mint for sure.
No, I'm gonna go strawberry basil.
There you go.
Oh.
Try try it out. Well, should we cheers real quick?
Cheers.
I think we should cheers to close it out, guys. Happy
To a
3-day
day.
finals.
Oh, that's brutal.
Oh, right
my
on the
God,
phone.
that's brutal.
I'm leaking apple
Is this
here.
a sample or are we? Okay, no,
It's
we're
a
just
taste so we
down
can close
ash.
it out. We don't got to eat on camera. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. This has been the morning show.
Appreciate ya.
We're so excited to give you more coverage tomorrow. Tune in. Thank you and au revoir.
Au revoir.